I can remember back in October 2023, this week, it really was one of my darkest times of my entire life. But this is when I created Utopia. Utopia is a conglomerate that I have, that I am building to really advance my vision of a personal evolution. I I envision that everybody, the vast majority of people on this earth, they are obsessed with evolution. They're obsessed with their personal evolution, evolving. That's why I came up with the name Utopia, because Utopia, all it means, in my definition, is an individual who is building their domain and building themselves forever evolution. And so we look into a utopian society for us to live in, but I say the utopian society is within you. Within you is the infinite abundance universe world, inner world that you are seeking after. You're seeking, so many of us is seeking after it externally, while very few of us is focusing on it internally. And so this is my idea that I'm trying to stress on my brand, the brand of, forget the brand, the philosophy, the idea, the purpose, the reason, the meaning of Utopia. And if I can just have just a few people of this world to adapt to that idea, to that philosophy, I know that this world will just become more of a better place. Now, I'm not trying to make this world a better place, to be honest with you, so don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is that the more people who focus on obsessively building themselves, ironically, the better this world will become. Sovereignty isn't passive surrender, it's strategic severance, redirecting your energy to you. Pain is a signal to evolve. Avoid it and you stagnate. Face it and you rise. So let's climb. What do I mean by climb? How can you climb if you're attached? I personally go to the extreme, boldly expressing to people that attachment is demonic. So my standpoint on that will take another, a whole nother letter, whole nother video, whole nother project. But to simply explore this idea, attachment to people, to outcomes, to externalities, into a meticulously crafted fiction of how things should be is the foundational error in your operating system. So you do this because you fundamentally crave control over a universe that is by its very nature defined by chaos and entropy. And the final damning link in this chain of self-improvement is this: you crave external control only because you possess no self-control. This is where the cycle starts. The common advice is to let it go. This is the platitude for the weak. It is passive surrender. The path to sovereignty is not found in release, it is forged through a strategic severance. It requires an active, ruthless reallocation of your emotional and mental capital away from things you cannot control and onto the only domain you can ever truly master, which is yourself in your environment that you build around you. Autonomy and sovereignty is what you should be obsessively building every day. This is the great inversion you must correct. You believe that by managing the world outside, by steering the emotions of others, by manipulating situations, by forcing outcomes, you can somehow silence the rage and disorder inside. The tighter your fists, the more reality, truth, and genuine power will slip through your fingers like sand. This fundamental error in judgment is costly, but it is not even the most immediate danger. Your profound, almost willful neglect of reality is the primary source of your self inflicted wounds. We will now go deeper into this. Let's examine this into a different angle. Let's try to do this economically, biologically, neurologically, and philosophically. Let's try to dive deeper into this real quick. And it's because only then can you begin to build something powerful where you are so resilient to distractions which will hinder you from your personal evolution. So, but first, let's acknowledge that you constantly betray yourself. Here's why. Because you want a solution. You want perfection. You want an answer, a reason why. But sometimes being human means you get none of those. So let's start from there. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be navigated. Your search for a perfect solution manifests as the hunt for what is best, the best path, the best life. This is a phantom. If something is the best, it implies a ceiling has been reached, an end. But you are still alive. You're still living. So acknowledge that part of reality is simply there is no answer, there is no fix, there is no closure, there is no solution. The myth of best is the illusion of the finish line. Best is not in this reality. But don't get me wrong. On the contrary, however, within our minds, we can imagine the best. We can chase it. But here's the trick. Understand this, and I hope you guys don't get me wrong, that we will never arrive at what's best for anything. This is the whole point. Because when you aim at what's best, even knowing you'll never reach it, you become more. What I'm basically saying is that strive for perfection. I'm trying to get you guys to understand the reality that you'll never be perfect, and sometimes you'll never get an answer, you'll never get the solution, you'll never arrive at what's best. But that doesn't mean that you don't aim for it. By all means necessary. You aim for it by knowing you'll never reach it. Because in that process, while you're aiming for it, while you're reaching for it, you're becoming more. You're developing, you're growing, you're evolving. Personal evolution is my entire idea. Personal evolution is the center point, the core behind underneath, in the middle, the center of everything that I talk about and that I do in my life. Everything. Personal evolution. Whether I'm eating something, drinking something, watching something, talking to anybody, whatever, I don't care. It may look different, but in the back of my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, my reasoning, my meaning, for me personally, somehow, some form of fashion, the connection, the dots, the pattern, the puzzle, it connects back in alignment with personal evolution. That's the main reason. So how do you become more? By pursuing this path, this journey. You will gain more self-control, more discipline, more concentration, more focus, more in alignment, and most of all, more clarity. More. So with all this more, you'll also experience less, ironically. Less what? Lesser people. Lesser distractions. Lesser disappointments. Lesser clutter. Lesser unnecessary confusion. You will understand you will experience a life of minimalism. Minimalism will become your new lifestyle. So embrace what's more for the lesser of your slavery to things that will never serve you but harm you with pleasurable experiences. So in other words, you're cutting off, you're removing things that does not serve your future self. This is why I came up with the Tower of Best. Because the Tower of Best, you cannot climb to reach to the top of the best of yourself, the better version of the best version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, if you have a attachment that's keeping you from climbing, reaching to the top. Here's a daily imagination practice for the Tower of Best. Throughout the day, use your imagination to start imagining a mental structure where every choice is a brick, every pain is a raw material. Jordan Peterson said, imagine what you could be and aim single-mindedly at that. This climb has no elevator. Doubt, discomfort, delay, these are all storms. These storms forge you. More focused, less enslaved. The Tower of Best is your architecture of purpose. Build relentlessly, never settling for static comfort. This is your spiritual. Think of this as your spiritual architecture. The Tower of Best. You're not going to stumble your way up this tower. You choose it. You build it. You bleed for it. You design it. This is yours. You climb it daily. Every decision is a brick. Every discipline is mortar. Your suffering isn't wasted at all. Nothing that you go through is going to just be in vain. It's going to be a purpose. The Tower of Best, your imagination. Use your imagination. Use your creativity every single day. So you could have a tangible, visceral imagination of what this tower looks like. This tower is a symbolic symbol of your life. But it's a tower. You're climbing it. Every single day, daily, you're climbing this. So your suffering isn't wasted. It's the stone you must quarry. The tower rises with every moment you say, I will not settle. This climb has no shortcuts. You carry your own weight. You forge your tools. The vision at the top must be real to you than the pain at the bottom. This is the architecture of your ultimate self. Building the tower. This is your blueprint. So to build the tower, you must first quit the cages you have normalized. This is where the real war begins. Not against the world, but against your wiring. Because a lot of us is programmed. A lot of us is wired to be disciplined to a lifestyle, to a system that is not built for the better of ourselves. It's built for us. But it's not built for the better of ourselves. It's not built for a future of ourselves. It's not built for what we may want. If we don't design our life, somebody else is going to design it for us. If we don't build our own life, somebody else is going to build it for us. So, discipline is overrated. Because what are you disciplined to? Are you disciplined to the life that you built for your own self? Or are you disciplined and programmed to a life that was already designed for you? Through other people. Your tower rises through deliberate acts. You are going to have deliberate practice every single day towards excellence. Document deliberately. Write or record one fear, one attachment every day. Marcus Aurelius, he wrote nightly, facing pain to rise above it. So say no to distractions, daily scrolling, a toxic call, a friend, a toxic girlfriend, a friend, or whatever. Ignore it. Eliminate all distractions. Move your body. exercise. This will boost your serotonin, fueling your climb. These aren't static tasks, they're steps in ongoing projects. So just indulge in creative tasks every single day, constantly building. So the deep foundation of this tower, the idea of this tower is to build tall, dig deep. The often overlooked or forgotten root of overcoming problems is digging to the root causes of the problems. Problems are pain. The more pain you experience, the deeper you need to dig. And the deeper you dig, the deeper your foundation of the Tower of the Best will be. At the end of your life, the Tower of Best should have an extremely deep foundation with a towering structure. Think of the Tower of Babylon. The deeper the foundation, the taller the building. I've written, stretch wide, dig deep. But now I must add, dig deep, then build tall. Repeat this for the rest of your life. I'll say that again. Stretch wide, dig deep. Dig deep, then build tall. That's the structure. That's the spiritual architecture of your building, of your tower. So with every problem that you face, again, stretch wide. And what I mean by stretch wide, be open to all opportunities. Be open to the world as your library of learning as much as you can. And then dig deep. You're going to say focus on certain things that's going to be pertaining towards your problem. Then when you dig deep, then when you have the necessary important information, the data that's pertaining towards your pain, that you can pick, that's pertaining towards the issue, the challenges you're facing, then you can build with that. Every pain is a opportunity for you to build, for you to earn, for you to build wealth, for you to benefit from, if you use your mind psychologically towards how you can use this pain strategically towards your benefits. This is the culture of an aligned radical. You live underground, secretly designing the resilient foundation of your tower. I recommend studying Fyodor Dostoevsky, the book that he wrote, Notes from Underground, extensively. This resilience and radical search for truth will keep you prepared and resilient for any bad feeling, issue, challenge, problem that you may face in your life, that you will face in your life. The art is to always be prepared for problems because you know they're inevitable. More focused, less enslaved. The Tower of Best is your architecture of purpose. Build relentlessly and never settling for static comfort. This is your spiritual architecture. You don't stumble your way up this tower. You choose it, you build it, you bleed for it, you climb it daily. Every decision is a brick. Every discipline is a mortar. Your tower. So this is where the world begins. Not against the world, but against your wiring. Your tower rises through deliberate acts. Document deliberately. Write or record one fear, one attachment, one severance at a time. Marcus Aurelius wrote nightly, facing pain to rise above it. This will fuel your climb. This will fuel your daily walk, your daily movement. So these aren't static tasks. They're steps in ongoing projects, like my personal projects that I aim building through my personal pain. Utopia, my business / brand product growth. Taviance, which is a fragrance I'm working on, and I talk about this 3-sheet method that I use every single morning that I wake up. Every single day I force myself to focus on building something, creating something that is going to make my life better. And that's what you have to do. I have so many things that I force myself to do in one day, so I can stay focused on what the ultimate vision is. And the ultimate vision is me living the lifestyle that I want to live, me becoming the better version of myself every single day, me just becoming better than I was yesterday. That's my ultimate goal every single morning I wake up. I want to be less distracted and more effective. And that's why I created dark mode. Dark mode is the center of all of that. Dark mode is what going to keep climbing that tower of best. It's dark mode is what's going to help me to be relentless and to kill my older self and to not be tempted to be distracted. Or maybe I will be tempted to be distracted, but not to buy into it. Not to be mindlessly scrolling every night before I go to bed, or mindlessly scrolling when I wake up in the morning, binge watching Netflix or whatever, or I don't know, whatever. Just doing ridiculous things that serves my future self no purpose. It does nothing but stimulates me, feeds into my cheap dopamine. So I don't want to buy into that nonsense, and so I want to become. I am obsessed with becoming the greatest person that I can possibly be. I heard Kobe Bryant says that he wanted to become the greatest basketball player of all time. He became a polymath. He became obsessed. He became curious. So the world became his library. Me, I stole that. I'm saying that I want to become the greatest human being that I possibly can become. So what do? The world is my library. I'm an obsessed polymath. I'm not obsessed polymath just because I want to be an obsessed polymath. I don't want to learn skills just for the hell of learning skills. I don't want to equip myself with techniques just for the hell of it. No, I want to use these things. I want to equip myself with skills so I can get paid for these skills, and so I can continue to keep building, and also so I can always becoming the highest version of myself. So this is why I'm doing these things, because I want to live the life that I want to live by my own means and not having to answer to anybody but myself. I want to get paid to be myself. And not only do I want to get paid to be myself, I want a lifestyle that the more developed I become, the more wealth I earn. That's the lifestyle that I want. Just that simple. So the more I develop, the more I evolve, the more I earn. And that's why my brand is personal evolution. That's why I say my personal brand is evolution. And that's why I created Utopia. Because what better lifestyle is that? I cannot think of a better lifestyle than that. The better you become, the more you get paid. So I am getting paid based on not only my survival, but my evolution. And I think, well, I can't speak for you, I can't speak for everybody else, but in my opinion, I guess I can say, and I would say humbly, I think that's a great lifestyle for anybody, for everybody. The more you evolve, the richer you become, the more wealthier you become. Envision a world where everybody is benefiting off of that, where everybody is living a lifestyle like that, where that's everybody's culture. Everybody's culture is obsession of evolution. And in our minds we have, and what's keeping us going is that engine of meaning. A meaning is a connection. That's what meaning is. It's not just one thing. It's a connection of a lot of different things. And so we understand what that meaning is, and that meaning is our engine, and that engine, it was within us. It's our heart and our minds that are connected. And now we have a reason. Now we know why, what we want to do, and now we know what, and we know how, and we're just climbing the tower, and we know the best version of ourselves is at the tip of that tower. We will never reach it in this life, but we will reach it in the afterlife. That's the whole idea of the Tower of Best. That's the whole idea of Utopia. That's, to me, is what personal evolution is. Biologically, evolution never stops. It's just something that's always going. And that's how you should be. That's how we should be. That's how I should be. That's what I am striving to be. That's what I am being. So, the deep foundation of the tower Your tower. So this is the culture of an aligned radical. You live underground secretly, designing the resilient foundation of your tower. So I recommend studying Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Notes from Underground, extensively. This resilience and radical search for truth will keep you prepared and resilient for any bad feeling, pain, issue, challenge, or problem that you may face. The art is to always be prepared for problems because you know they're inevitable. So the tower will have these storms. Storms test your tower. Self-doubt screams you're not enough. Critics will mock you. So document the truth. A severe one limiting belief every day. Just some severe one. Just eliminate one self-doubt every single day, because self-doubt is what's going to keep you from climbing this tower. So take these examples. So I just wanted you all to take in consideration of pain in the Tower of Best and Utopia. These lexicons, these terms that I came up with and I created, that I believe that we all can benefit from. They help me to get me through the day. When I see myself being discouraged or doubting myself, I go back to the terms that I have created. I go back to my writings. I go back to my notebooks. I go back to my letters. I go back to my videos. These videos is documentation. Me talking to myself literally. I'm literally talking to myself, but I'm just sharing with you because I believe that when I overcome my problems, that when I become better, why not market that? Why not show that to the world? I don't need to keep it for myself. So I will leave you with this. Hunt your pain, document your source. Use it to forge your tower of best. This is the diagnosis. Pain, when faced, is your wealth. Pain as a signal is a signal, and the signal is a root. Be a pain hunter. Use discomfort to build your future. Pain isn't random. It's a signal to evolve. So that's all I have to say for that for right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and this is Dante Taviance, and we'll be back very soon. Have a great, beautiful day. Oh, I forget to say this too. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Anything that I say that you disagree with or that you have a problem with, let me know. Please comment and say it in the comments. I have no problem with being wrong. And I can guarantee you this. If I am wrong, I will find out that I am wrong way before you will find out. And way before you can tell me. Because I'm always self-evaluating. I'm always checking myself. I'm always disagreeing. Who am I disagreeing with? I'm disagreeing with myself. I come up with an idea and I prove myself wrong. I say, how this is wrong. I start with what's wrong. I start with what's broken. And then I evolve from there. I can't evolve if I don't start with pain. I can't evolve if I don't start with what's wrong. I can't evolve if I don't start with disagreeing with myself. So, God bless. Thank you all so much.